Hello class 10 students, welcome back once again to your biology class. We have been studying the chapter of how do organisms reproduce. Today also we will continue with the same chapter, the next portion. We have been learning about the sexual reproduction in animals. So today also we will know about the different types of organisms, the advantages of sexual reproduction and so on. Now you know the majority of the animals, they have separate sexes, that is male and the female bearing structures. These are present in separate individuals. This type of animals are known as dioecious or unisexual animals. Fish, frog, reptiles, birds, mammals, including humans, these are the examples of this type. However, some animals are also there, both male and female reproductive organs, where these are located in the same individual. This type of animals or organisms are known as hermaphrodite or monoecious or bisexual, like tapeworms, flatworms, earthworm, leech. These are the examples of monoecious animals. Here you can't distinguish which is the male organism and which is the female organism, right? Now what are the advantages of sexual reproduction? The sexual reproduction, it contains many advantages over asexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, we know the DNA replication takes place and the parent cell divides and two identical daughter individuals are formed during the process of asexual reproduction. During the time of replication, what happens? Some variations may occur, but this variation does not cause any drastic changes within those organisms who are exhibiting the asexual mode of reproduction. So the offsprings are more or less similar to the parent because they have the same gene as their single parent. So much genetic variation is not possible in an asexually reproducing animal. Whereas in case of sexually reproducing organisms, two types of gametes, the male gamete and the female gametes are involved. During the fusion of the gametes, what happens? There is mixing of the genetic material from the two parents. So the offsprings will receive the mixed gene from both the parents. Okay, and this mixing of the genetic material, it will lead to the greater variation in the offspring. As a result, what will happen? The offspring will be likely to adjust better in the environmental conditions because the genetic variation is taking place. The half of the gene from the father or the male partner and half of the gene from the female partner is mixing up together. So genetic variation is produced within those individuals. So we can say that the sexual reproduction provides diversity of characters in the offspring through the genetic variation, and it plays an important role in the evolution of the new species containing the different characters. This genetic variation will lead to continuous evolution of the species. And in case of asexual reproduction, what happens? This type of variation is not possible. Clear? Now, if each new generation, they have a combination of DNA copies from two pre-existing individuals, then what will happen? Each generation will have twice the number of DNA that the previous generation had. And this process will continue and soon there will be only DNA on the earth, right? And this complex problem in multicellular organism is solved by the presence of spatial cell lineage in specialized organs. The sexually reproducing individuals, they have the spatial germ cells, or we say the gametes, which contain only half the amount of the DNA compared to the normal body cell of any organism. When such germ cells will fuse during the fertilization process, the zygote will have the normal DNA or normal chromosome number content which will be restored in it. For example, in case of human, the sperm has 23 chromosomes, right? That is the male partner or the male gamete, and the female gamete also will have 23 chromosomes. So these will be fusing up during the process of fertilization, and the sperm and the egg will produce a zygote, 23 from the male and 23 from the female, that is 46. Otherwise, what would happen? If there would be 46 from the male and 46 from the female would be there, then it would be a large number of chromosomes, which is not possible for creation of any individual. So this is the normal number of chromosome in the human beings, that is 46, right? The bodies of the newborn male and the newborn female babies, these are very similar. So physically, externally, if you view out, it is not very much possible to distinguish which is the male child or which is the female child. The sex of a female or a male can only be declared after looking at the baby's genitalia, that is the external reproductive organs. For the next 10 years, the bodies of the boys and the girls continue to be very similar except for the genitalia, after which the body changes begin. Behind the nose and beneath the brain, there is an organ which is known as the pituitary gland. It is one of the several glands which secrete different hormones into the bloodstream. Okay, and this pituitary gland is also known as the master gland. At around the age of 10 to 13 in the girls and 12 to 14 in boys, the pituitary gland starts secreting increased amount of hormone, which is the growth hormone and the gonadotropin. The growth hormone, what it does, basically it stimulates the growth of the different body parts. Okay, and when the gonadotropin stimulates the production of the sex hormones, that is the main function. The gonadotropin, it starts secretion or production of the sex hormone both within the males and the females. In females, the sex hormones are these are produced in the ovaries, and they produce two sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, in large amount. And in males, the sex hormones are produced in the testes or testicles. And they also produce testosterone, and the sex hormone, they cause the reproduction or the reproductive organs to develop fully, and as a result the development of the secondary sexual characteristics also take place within the body. The sex hormones work with the growth hormone and cause different changes within the body of the males and the females. What type of changes? The growth of the hair on the face, armpits and pubic regions in the males. The voice becomes deeper and growth of the penis and the testicles take place, right? And in females, the growth of the hair in the ampullar regions, in the pubic regions take place. The development of the breast and the menstrual cycle begins. These are the characteristic changes or the secondary characteristic sexual changes which can be found. And these changes take place over a period of about 3 years in the girls, but may take longer in the boys. And there is a great variation at the time in which these changes begin, and also the nature and the size of the changes. These variations can basically make out. You can make out very easily. And these variations make people unnecessarily anxious, and they cause them to worry, and they feel they are changing. These variations, basically, if they feel they are not changing in the correct way, then they become anxious and they become panic why this is taking place and so on. And when these changes are complete, each person is capable of reproduction, and this period of change is known as the puberty. And it takes place basically in the first half of adolescence, which is the time when a person changes from a child to an adult. And in adolescence, in addition to become sexually mature, a person also develops adult emotion and social life skills. Okay, understood. Now we will know how these sexual reproduction in human beings basically take place. The sexual reproduction, it is the most common method of reproduction in animals, including the human beings. Different steps are there. The first step which we will know is about the male parent. The male parent basically produces the sex cells or the male gamete, which is known as the sperms, right? A sperm, what is that? It is a very special cell which is designed to carry the genetic information from the male parent to the egg of the female parent. And the sperm cells, they have a head with a nucleus and a long tail, and the sperms are motile. You have to draw and label the diagram of the structure of a sperm. Okay, and the nucleus of a sperm, it carries the genetic material. The mitochondria is present, which provides energy to the sperm movement. The acrosome is present. It is an apical part of the sperm head and releases the enzymes to make its way through the egg membrane. The female parent, it produces the female gamete, which is known as the ovum or the egg. Okay, an egg is much bigger in structure than a sperm and contains yolk as a food store, and it also has a nucleus, and the gene from the mother are present in the nucleus of the egg. The fertilization happens when the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg to form a new cell, which is known as the zygote, and this zygote carries the genetic material of both the parents. And the fertilized egg, which is known as the zygote, that zygote basically divides many times. Repeated division takes place and forms a ball of cells, and soon it will grow into an embryo, and eventually what happens? It develops into a separate individual. I think you have understood till this much today. Thank you.